Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the Marvel fandom lately, and personally, I think it's one of those moments where a movie doesn't just entertain, it actually makes you think. We're talking about Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and how it subtly, yet brilliantly, addresses one of the biggest criticisms of Avengers, Infinity War. But here's the thing, it's not just a throwaway joke or a fan service moment. It's a meta-commentary that's both hilarious and thought-provoking. So, let's break it down. First off, what makes this really interesting is how Brand New Day handles the MCU's interconnectedness. We've all come to expect cameos and crossovers, right? But this movie takes it a step further by not just bringing in big names like Jean Grey or Frank Castle, it actually uses these interactions to poke fun at the broader Marvel universe. And the moment that's got everyone talking? When a student in Bruce Banner's class straight up asks why Thanos didn't just double the universe's resources instead of snapping half of existence away. I mean, if you take a step back and think about it, this is the kind of question that's been lingering in the back of every fan's mind since 2018. But hearing it voiced in universe? That's next level. In my opinion, what this scene does so well is it acknowledges the elephant in the room without breaking the tone of the movie. It's not just a joke, it's a meta-commentary on the logic of Thanos' plan. And let's be real, Thanos' whole balance the universe thing always felt a bit off. Doubling resources would have been way more efficient, right? But here's where it gets fascinating. Thanos wasn't just a rational being. He was a zealot, driven by a twisted sense of purpose. And that's what many people don't realize, his plan wasn't about logic, it was about ideology. The snap was never about solving overpopulation, it was about him proving a point. And honestly, that's what makes him such a compelling villain. But what this really suggests is that Marvel is aware of the criticisms and is willing to engage with them in a playful way. It's not just fan service, it's self-awareness. Personally, I think this is a huge step forward for the MCU. It shows that they're not just resting on their laurels, they're actively thinking about how their stories are perceived and how they can evolve. And that, to me, is what makes Brand New Day more than just another Spider-Man movie. It's a reflection of where the MCU is headed and how it's growing. One thing that immediately stands out is Tom Holland's reaction in that scene. His little shrug, as if he's just as baffled as the rest of us, is pure gold. It's these small moments that remind us why Holland's Spider-Man works so well, he's relatable, he's human, and he's just as confused by the madness of the MCU as we are. But it also raises a deeper question. How much do these characters actually question the events of the MCU? We've seen them deal with trauma, loss, and existential threats, but how often do they stop to ask the why behind it all? This scene feels like a rare moment of introspection, and I'm here for it. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just a funny moment, it's a commentary on storytelling itself. Thanos' plan, as flawed as it was, gave us Infinity War and Endgame, two of the most epic films in cinematic history. If he'd just doubled resources, we wouldn't have had those movies. And that's the irony, right? The plot hole is what made the story work. It's a reminder that sometimes, the best stories come from the most flawed decisions. And that's something I find fascinating, how Marvel is willing to acknowledge that and even laugh about it. So, where does this leave us? Spider-Man, Brand New Day isn't just a fun ride, it's a movie that's unafraid to engage with its own universe's complexities. It's funny, it's smart, and it's got me thinking about the MCU in a whole new way. Personally, I think this is the kind of storytelling we need more of, stories that don't just entertain but also challenge us to think. And as we move forward in this ever-expanding universe, I can't help but wonder, what other questions are the characters and we as fans going to ask next? Because if Brand New Day is any indication, the answers might just surprise us.